What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is Arrow Season 4, Episode 9, Dark Waters. This is a season finale, or mid-season finale. I talked about my flash review of their mid-season finale. Didn't really feel like one. It was kind of just a simple episode, nothing really shocking. This one ends on a bit more of a... I'm not going to say shocking because I kind of saw it coming. But it does end on a note that feels more like a finale. So let's talk about it. It starts off, they're doing the whole clean up the lake thing. They've got people there helping out, they've got children there helping out, all of this stuff. And then Dark attacks with like this drone and starts shooting up the place. Several people injured, a lot of kids almost killed. Oliver kind of takes that and thinks we need to do something about it. From there, it's just a whole crap show of just things just keep going from bad to worse for them. You've got how I forget the order in which all of this happens. Okay, so you've got Oliver calling out Dark. He blames the ghost. He calls out the organization called H.I.V.E. He has a picture of Damien Dark, shows it to everybody. Dark retaliates by attacking their holiday party and taking Felicity, Thea, and Diggle. Oliver thinks, I'm going to turn myself in, trade my life for theirs. He gets there, Dark double-crosses him, tries to kill Thea, Diggle, and Felicity, and then Laurel shows up with Malcolm, saves them, and then, that kind of is that, pretty much. It's kind of funny because as we're going through this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is a mid-season finale. They could do something crazy here. They could really take some chances. And as we're going through, he throws Felicity, Diggle, and Thea in. At that point, I'm thinking, they'll be okay. If they had thrown one character in there, I would think, holy crap, they're about to kill off whoever is in there. But because they threw all three, I'm thinking, they're not going to kill off three main characters at one time. And then at the end, everything feels like it works out. There's a moment where they think maybe Dark is dead, which of course he's not. But then all of a sudden, Oliver proposes to Felicity, at which point all I can think is, yeah, something's about to go horribly wrong. So they're driving away in the limo, these black vans show up and shoot up the entire limo. For some reason, Oliver doesn't get hit by a single bullet in all of that, and Felicity took at least one shot, and it looks like a bad shot. She's got like blood coming out of her mouth, so clearly they hit maybe a lung or something like that. So yeah, here's the thing. One, this is DC, so how many times has somebody died in this show? Quite a few times. In fact, in this one, we have a moment where we think, oh, maybe Damien's dead, and then a few minutes later, he's showing these people that he's been talking to the entire episode his huge cornfield. I don't know what the plan is there. But yeah, so we already have one moment where we think this one character's dead, and then they're not. This feels like another moment. In fact, in the previews for this, when they're showing previously on Arrow, they showed Oliver at the grave, and I kind of forgot about that for the moment. So to see that again, I'm thinking, okay, so does this mean that we're going to have a moment that shows us who's in the grave? And that kind of feels like what they're doing here. It feels like, oh, look, Felicity just got shot, and remember in the previously, he was at a grave. Could it be Felicity? Who knows? Maybe, possibly. I'm not going to make any predictions on it because even if it is Felicity's gravestone, I kind of feel like it could still be fake. Like he's just pretending that Felicity's dead so that she's out of harm's way, because clearly Dark is just going to keep coming for her until she's dead because he wants Oliver to suffer. So, on the one hand, I would hate for her to be gone because I kind of have a crush on her. But also, it's something that I didn't necessarily like at first. Whenever she and Oliver started hooking up, it made sense for Oliver to like her, but for her to like Oliver, there wasn't a whole lot of reason. And as it progressed, it just felt like they were forcing it, And so by the time they finally hooked up, it was like, I don't really care. But then at the beginning of the season, they've actually spent time together, so it makes more sense now that they're actually happy together. And on top of that, Oliver's character is changing. He's not the brooding, kind of hopeless guy that he was when she first met her, which is who he was for the first 3 seasons. And why it didn't make any sense for Felicity to really love him like that. But now that he's changed, it actually feels more natural. Their relationship feels more natural. And it feels like it's starting to change who he is. So I don't know why you would do that for this entire half of the season, building up the fact that he's changing a bit. He's not as brooding as he used to be. He's actually happy now. Just to kill off the one thing that has been doing that for him. It's something they've done well to build up the season. I don't know why you would end that right now. So I don't know. Maybe she really is. Maybe the show is deciding to take a chance and throw itself back into the realm of dark and brooding. It wouldn't be terrible, but I think it would be a poor choice. I'll see where it goes from here, but a lot of possibilities though. I think that's why I enjoy this, despite the fact that it could be a terrible thing. Well, not terrible, but a bad choice. I don't mind it because, you know what? There are several choices that could go from here. There are several different possibilities that you could take from here. So they leave themselves a lot of room to really work with it and give us an interesting story. And that's good to see. That's good to see that they really are doing their best to give us a good story and give us something that we can enjoy week after week. The one thing, though, that I will point out is something that was very frustrating this episode. Yeah, Felicity's mom and Captain Lance. Why? I mean, it was funny to see Felicity's reaction, and that's probably the only reason why it could be a good thing, but they didn't utilize that enough. They had Felicity say one funny line about it. That's been it. And if Felicity dies, there goes all the jokes that can be made about that. It just doesn't feel needed. It doesn't feel like you have to put them together. You could just joke about it for a couple episodes and then be done with it. But yeah, seeing them together it was funny to see Felicity get all... I'm going to hit my head really hard so I don't remember this. That was hysterical. But that's the only moment that really made me go, oh yeah, that's why they're together. Everything else was just like, there's no reason. And honestly, Felicity's mom is kind of getting on my nerves. Just being honest. She has her moments where it's funny. It's funny to see her embarrass Felicity. But she's kind of annoying. Her scream whenever she saw the ring is just like, it was ear piercing and it sounded like a somebody's hurting me scream. Why? Anyway, yeah, that's just my opinion. I prefer maybe that she take a vacation or something. I don't know. Trying to make sure I don't forget anything from this episode. They have a bit more about Thea, and how her bloodlust is gone, how she doesn't feel the need to kill anybody because of what Damien Darhk did. Tried to suck her life force or whatever out of her, and that ended up like curing her bloodlust for some reason. I don't know. It's weird. Malcolm doesn't really know what's going on, and it kind of, you can see the fear on his face, especially whenever he's fighting Damien as Green Arrow. You can see like the true fear in his face because he doesn't know what he's up against. And it's kind of funny and ironic that the H.I.V.E before him knew Damien Darhk and knew who he was, what he was capable of, and now the new H.I.V.E has no idea. So I don't know. Curious to see if we find out more about that, and maybe Thea really is cured of her bloodlust. Maybe not. We'll see. But like I said, several good storylines that they're building up, leaving a lot of possibilities open for the future, and that's good to see. Especially because it's season 4, you want to see them start to do something different. And I think the flashbacks are probably the best example of what not to do, because I love the flashbacks in the first 3 seasons. The 3rd season, the only good thing, in my opinion, was the flashbacks, because they were still enjoyable. It was interesting. Oh, we took them off the island? That's curious. And we got to meet Tatsu, who turned out to be Katana. We got to meet, what's his name? Can't remember his name. The guy that turned out to be a part of the League of Assassins. It's still connected. And I love how they connect the flashbacks to the main story. They're not doing it this season. He's back on the island again, and he's stopping these people that are trying to do something evil, and he's trying to be a double agent, and it doesn't really connect to the main storyline right now. Maybe it will, but that's been one of the fun things about the flashbacks, is seeing how it connects. We don't see that at all this season. It doesn't connect at all. They don't even have moments where he's talking about, you need to know that you can do what needs to be done, and then showing him doing what needs to be done on the island. We don't get to see any of that. It's just, here's the main story and then a random scene from the flashback. I don't get it. But anyway, as far as the flashback goes, this one we have stuff going wrong for him. He finally gets outed as a liar because he gets caught with this woman that he's supposed to kill. So yeah. Anyway, that's about it for this review. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this episode, whether or not you agree or disagree. Leave a like and subscribe for more Arrow, and I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.